Hello. In this short video, we're going to take a look at the Satori platform and how it interacts with various Microsoft services such as SQL Server, Synapse, Single Sign-On, enterprise applications, attribute controls, SCIM integration of those attributes, and so forth. Satori helps protect all of your data in real time, wherever it might live, and we're going to walk through a very simple exercise using Power BI and Power Apps and the rest of the Azure platform. Here's a diagram that shows how various different roles can gain access to various different production databases in real time, as well as request elevated access, self-service access, row-level masking, column-level filtering, RBAC and ABAC controls, built-in auditing, and so forth. Let's jump right in. Here's my Apps Azure app portal. We have built-in single sign-on with Satori, which we'll use in a moment, but let's launch a Power BI report as if we're an end user. We're logged in as Satori Demo User 1. They should be able to open up an existing report and get filtering and masking automatically. Sure enough, on the screen, this user is only allowed to see data from Texas. There's also masking, email, phone number. The last name's been redacted. Let's take a look at how this works in Satori. This user is also an administrator in Satori for the purposes of this demonstration video. So when we log in using Azure Single Sign-On, we'll see the full Management Console. The query we just ran in Power BI automatically shows up in Satori. If we set the filter to the last 5 minutes, we'll only look at a few different rows here. It looks like this last entry is the Power BI report that just ran. There's the select statement. There's the policies that were applied, the masking, row level filtering, even down to the column level, which sensitive pieces of PII we found, and what action we took. Let's imagine this end user needs to use the Satori data portal to request elevated access to that same data. Here in the data portal, we list all of the data sets that this user has access to, as well as available data sets they can gain access to. A Satori data set is a collection of information that you wish to treat as a unified piece of security. So let's change our access level. On the screen, you see various access rules, some of which require a data steward to approve, and some of which are self-service. You can see also that we're protecting a SQL Server source as well as a Synapse source from one security policy whose name is Azure Resources. So let's choose the masking removed policy. It's a self-service policy. Typically in production, you would have a data steward approve that, but for the purposes of this demo video, we've made it nice and easy. I'll put in a quick message and click request. That concludes the workflow required for this end user to gain access to unredacted information. If we go back to Power BI and refresh, it's loading. And when it's done, you can see the information's been automatically redacted. Pretty neat. Here's that same information in Power Apps. You can see the screen, it shows unredacted data, and in a moment we will re-redact that information. Let's go back to Satori and point out that the rules that are set up for the data portal are managed under datasets here. So if we go look at the one called Azure Resources, you can see it can control disparate locations, entire databases, or individual tables as needed. Here's the access rule list, and this is the one we just added. This end user has 28 minutes on the clock, and life is good. They're also a member of an Active Directory group called Certain Special Users, which is giving them their default masking and redaction and so forth. So if we come in here and revoke the 30-minute rule and go back to where we were in the beginning, we can now go back to all of our downstream systems, Power BI, Power Apps, a data client, Python code, and any changes we make in Satori will be automatically reflected. So I've refreshed the data source and this information is masked in Power Apps. And over here in Power BI, if I refresh this data connection, the masking is also reapplied here. This is one of many possible examples that demonstrate the power of just-in-time access management using Microsoft Azure and Satori. Thank you so much for watching.